Hello guys. So today we will learn about Hello. So today let's go do the campus area networking, and this will be done by this method. So what I have shown you, that in that method we will going to elaborate our networking about the campus area networking. So let's do. How can you do that? Let's do all these things. So the first thing we have, I will show you the structure, how the campus area networking will be done and how all the work will be done, how the process will be done. Let us describe by this method. So here you can see that there is four branches. I have taken four branches, that is branch EC branch, CSC branch, EEE branch and mechanical branch, in which we have two trunking ports or VLANs. So these are the VLANs. Don't worry about the names. We will do it by one process. So we have the teacher branch. You can see out from here. They are the teacher branches, and there is a student branch. In every switches or every branches, they have the categorized by two VLANs. That is VLAN 10 for the teachers or the professors, and VLAN 20 for the students. And we have taken the subnets or only one network, that is 10.0.0.0, and we are dividing it into two subnets, that is 10.10.10.0 and 10.10.20.0. So now we will do all those things. We will do one by one, and let us go for our Cisco packet traces, and let's do it. So here I will describe one by one, and I will describe what is our network, what is router, everything will go one by one. So let us do it. So first, for the first time, we have to go for the a router. So what is a router? Router is used for sharing the data or sharing data from one network to the another network. Like if you want to share the data from 10.0.0.0 to 11.0.0.0, then you have to take a router, because they are two different networks. The router is working under the third layer of OSI model, that is called logical IP address, that is called I working under the IP address. And the next one, we have to use the switches. So in these switches, first we have to go for a multi-layer switches. Multi-layer switches means it will be work in layer 2 again with layer 3. That means this switch can use as both router and a switch. So you can use it both as a switch and or a router, but in this case we are trying to use it as a switch. So let us go for the third one. So we are using three type or three switches, sorry, four switches for four branches. So let me do that. So in this sector, what we have done, we have using four switches for the four branches. For the switches intercommunication, we are using another multi-layer switches, so that the data will go from this switch to this switch, and they are continually switching their data. Then we will use our routers to communicate between two different subnetworks. So let me join into that, and let me write all these things. Before that, let me tell you one like concept. If you are connecting a same type of devices, then you have to use like, let me, straight layer. Oh, sorry. So this is a straight cable. You have to use the straight cable. But whenever you have to go for it like same type of devices, like you want to communicate with the switch to switch, then you have to go for one by the straight cable. So let me go for that. Wi-Fi. So we are using straight cables, or you can directly use this one by only one method. So you can use it by this. These are also using as a straight cross cables. So yeah, this is the first thing we have to do. Then we have to define the network with our system. So let me go for the system. This first system has been going with the two system which has used as the professors, and another one is the student. So this is the method we are trying to create a communication between a network. So let me do that. Yeah. So now let us connect this system to the switch, and let me describe why all these things are happening and what are the concept behind the switch and the router, why we have to use the switch rather than the router. All these things we will describe, and why I have done with the multiple multiple steps to do this. Everything we will discuss one by one. So all these things are set up. Now let's do it, and now let me tell you about this type of cross area network or campus area network. Just remember one thing: whenever you are trying to go for a campus area network, at that time there are three types of layer you should have to go for. One is called access layer, then is called distributed layer or the core layer. You have to use a router to route between two different networks. So whenever I have connected all these things, you can see that till now you can see that there is a yellow and green color, and there is a triangle with the green color. This is called the spanning tree protocol, and we will discuss in the later or next live session what is this spanning tree protocol, all those things about this networking. But now this is called the just know that there is a spanning tree protocol is happening to choose the right path between between the path, so that there don't have but data storm or data looping will be there. So we will discuss all this thing in the next class, but now we have to discuss that whenever you have to trying to go for a campus area network, you have to use three layers. That there should be three layers, that is called access layer, another is called distributed or core layer, another is the router layer or the networking layer. So let me go for defining all these things. The first thing we have to discuss, or first thing we have to do, that is called trunk port or the VLANing trunk port. So let me discuss about what are the IP address and what are the things we have to use in this network. The first thing we have to use a network. So the whole network or IP address or network IP I have used, that is 10.0.0.0. So there is a just a so this is a you can see that if you know about the classes of IP address, there are five type of classes IP address, and this is nothing but a class A IP address. So let me write down class A IP address. So as this is a class A IP address, so what will happen? What is the subnet mask? Subnet mask will be 255.2.0.0.0, because it has one network IP and three host IP. So let me go for the subnetting mask so that we can perform our VLAN for the professor. For the professors, we have we will take 10.10.0 1.0. So let it do that. And for our students, we will use 10.20.1.0. So for this what we have to take, because we are trying to use it as the second and third one as the subnet IP or the network IP. So the subnet mark will be 255.255.255.0, because I am giving the last one as the host bit and another 3 bit as the network bit. So the subnet mask will be the 255.255.255.0. For the subnet mask also you have to use 255.255.255.0. So now let us do one by one about the thing. The first process you have to go for, the first one we have to do it in the second layer or the multiple layer. For that, just go for the client area and follow my steps what I am doing. No, first you have to go for enable the switch. For the enabling of the switch you have to write the command en or enable. Just give the tab, it will give you the enable what is the full concept. Now you have to go for configuration. For the configuration terminal you have to write down configure terminal. So you can write con terminal. You just have to go for the tab, it will rewrite everything for you. Then you have to choose the interface. So now let us choose the interface for the trunking protocol. So the why trunking? Trunking means if you want to communicate with the trunk ports, like communicate in between the VLANs. If you want to trying to communicate with the VLANs, you have to use the trunk port. So for us, our trunk port will be this one is a VLAN 10. This will be VLAN 20. Again, the professors are VLAN 10, VLAN 20. If this professor wants to talk the professor of EC branch or CSE branch, so let me write it down all these things so that you can comfortable to use. See that it is a CS branch, and this will be the EC branch. So most of the students of mine are coming from the EC branch. So let me go for the EC branch, and let me go for the third one as the triple E branch. One of friend is from triple E also, and another was our mechanical branch. So what is happening here, you can see that there is the professor, there are two professor of EC branch, and they are trying to go for talking for the CS branch professors. At that time you have to go for trunking ports. So how can you do that? So let me write it down, or let me write it down the all the professor, all the like programs. So after the configuration you have to write the range, the ports are used for the trunkings are f0 by 2, f0 by 3, f0 by 4, f0 by 5. So let me write down about in one step, so you don't have to go for configuring one by one, rather than you can go for by at a time. So for that what you have to do, int range f0 by 3 slash. So no, you don't have to go for 0 by 3, it will be 0 by 2, 2 5. So as you have discussed or as you have done from 0 to 5, so it will be like that, and let it be. So now you have to go for trunking port. So how can you do that? So there is a only two steps are there for enabling the trunking port in this like protocols. So for that you have to write switch 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 trunk, oh sorry, switch trunk encapsulation doc I1q, encapsulation dot 1q. Now you have to do that is the first step, and the second one will be switch mode trunk. Why this is port is coming every time? Switch mode trunk. Now the interface, you can see that the interface has been changed to trunking ports. The next one you have to go for the another switches and write down as the same thing, because for this you can see out that all the steps, all the trunking ports, that is f0 by 1, f0 by 1, f0 by 1 and f0 by 1 are used as the trunking port for the switches or the switch layer 2. So let me go for that and go for the client area. Again you have to go for like en for enabling the switch, then the config t conf t, so that we are going for the configuration, and write it down by int f0 by 1 So for the interface, then you have to go for interface intf 0 by 1. Now sorry, you have again, I have done that, sorry for that. So switch switch mode trunk. So every time you have to do it with the every port. So let it be the like this one, client en conf t switch switch mode trunk. So okay, sorry, I don't did that, sorry. So int f 0 by 1. So we have to go for the port numbers. Then you have to go for switch mode trunk. So this is for the second one. Third one, let it be again enable conf t. Then you have to go for switch sorry int f 0 by 1. Then you have to give the ports trunking port as the switch mode trunk to use it as a switch port trunk mode. Again you have to go for the last one for the same thing. Then we will go for the VTP. So let me go for it, the third one or the last one, en conf t. Then you have to go for switch sorry int f 0 by 1 to selecting the port interface 0 by 1, the fast ethernet port 0 by 1. Then you have to go for switch mode trunk. So this is the third step for us. Then you have to go for the like VTP. So what is VTP? VTP is nothing but VLAN transfer protocol. So what is our VLAN trunking protocol? What is happening with that? We are creating the server as this switch as a server, and this is as a transparent, and all these things as a client. So whatever VLAN we are configuring in the fast switch, that will be automatically configured in the client. So let us do it so that you can go for and see how it is happening. So the first thing we have to check what is our existing VLANs are present in our system. So let me go for it and let me see what are the existing VLANs are configured or existing VLANs are present in this. So let us do this and let us see. So for that the command will be do so VLAN brief. So here you can see that there is no VLANs are configured. So let us go for the VTP first, then we will go for the all these things. So let me go for VTP. So for that you have to write down VTP domain. So you have to go for a or define a domain. So for me it will be mitigator or mitigater, so that we can use it as the domain. So it is showing for the VTP domain has been changed from null to the mitigator. The next one we have to use as, so we have to clarify that it is a server in our whole configuration. So for that how can you do that? So it will be like BTP mode VTP mode server. So you can see that the domain is already existing as the server. So this is the first thing we have declared it as a server of the BTP. So the next thing we have to do, we have to go for this server and sorry this switch and declare it as a transponder, so that it will not use as any server or the client. So let me go for exit. Then we have to go for VTP mode TR. So it will be as the transfer. So you can see that the setting of the device as the BTPs or transparent mode. So let me go for the third one and the other one to use it as a receiver or the clients. So let me do it by one by exit, and we will go for BTP domain and mitigator Next we have to the name has been changed from the null to mitigator. The next thing you have to do is the VTP mode client. So done. The first thing has been done. The second one we have to go again, exit. So you can write it down like VTP domain. So let me copy this one. So I have to every time I have, oh sorry, copy. So const, okay, so let me paste it directly. So we have done with the mitigator. Domain has been already set because all the things are transparent. So what we have to do, we have to use it as a BTP server, like we have to use as mode client. So the device are set up to the client, and the last one we have to go for it. So ex, let me paste the command, that is BTP domain mitigator. Already set because we have already used it as a server. Server is sending all the links towards our the client. So let me go for the BTP mode client, and all the things are set up. So what I have done in this BTP server, I have clarified this one as the first one as our server, and this is the transponder. Transponder is nothing but it is a mediator between the server and the client. Now we have to use it as this one is the client, this one is again the client, and the last one is again the client. So let me go for one by one and let me see what are the other things you have to do. So let me go for the first one and clarify the VLANs. So what is this VLANs? VLANs is nothing but it is creating a virtual LAN. It is creating nothing but a virtual group inside a network. That means because switch is like used in the second OSI model, it is used for the broadcasting. Whenever a network is sending some data, all other network also getting the data. So there is a security misconfiguration. So by using this VLANs, a network inside a network is going for creating another data or another network, so that the security or the performance of the security will be increased, and use it as your security. There will be a higher security. So let it be, and let it be go for one by one and do it by its own. So whatever what is the things we have to describe, so let it be a little bit I am telling you. So for the professional or the professors, what we are using VLAN 10. For the professor, remember that for the professor we are using VLAN 10. For the students we are using VLAN 20. And between the trunk ports, for the trunk ports, we are describing the trunk ports as the another VLAN. So let me tell you. So this trunk ports also used as another VLAN, that is called native VLAN. So native can be describe it as a native, or you may not use it for your trunking ports. So that's depend upon you for the but as a professionals you have to use the native ports. So let me do that one by one, and let me show you how to define a VLAN so that you can configure the VLANs into your systems. So let me go for config into my first, that is my switch 0. So let it be the config t. The first thing you have to use, that is called VLAN 10, because we are using it is for the professional. So VLAN 10. Now you have to name the VLAN. So name professor, because you are using the DHCP for automation of the IP address assignment. For that you have to use the name of the VLAN. So let me go for the VLAN name, professor, professor. So now we have to give the second VLAN, that is VLAN 20. So let me give the VLAN 20 and give the name as student. So VLAN 20 will be the IP address assigned for the VLAN will be only given for the students, whereas the assigned IP address for the VLAN 10 will be given to the professors. Let me give the trunking port, that is VLAN 199. So you can give anything, right, for the configuration of VLAN. So I am just giving 1999, and I will give the name as the native. So these are the whole configuration of VLANs, and this same concept, this same VLAN names and this same processor you have to use as the transponder. But remember one thing, as you have solved or as you have configured the VTP server, now you don't have to go for the client for this type of process. Your client will accept it by yourself. So let me check what is the VLAN concept I have used or the VLANs we have got. So for that you can write down do so Vlan Brief. So here you can see that VLAN 10 is given for the professor, VLAN 20 is given for the student, and VLAN 199 has been configured as the native. So no other IP address has been there. So because we are not given the ports to the or assign the ports to the VLAN, some thing we have to do it in the switch port or the transparent, so that the client also get the IP addresses. So let me do that for you. So I will go for it. Oh shit. So let me go for the paste the thing, the same thing I have paste. So VLAN 10 name will be the professor, VLAN 20 name will be the student, VLAN 199 and the name will be the native. So let me do that and let me see. Do so VLAN Brief, or here you can write down. So same thing has been there. Now I am telling you the first time that I have configured this one in the the switch was 0 and multi-layer switch. I am not done anything or not any configured anything with the VLAN or the switches or the client switches. So let me see whether the client has got all the things, all the networks or all the VLANs we have done. So let me go for do so VLAN Brief. So you can see that it will automatically gain the information of the VLAN from the VTP server or from the server that I have assigned to the switch 0. So in this way you can minimize the process or process timing in every client. So let me see whether it is getting the access or getting all the values or VLAN. So let me go for it. Yeah, all the things are there, so we don't have to go for this process into multiple times because we have using VLAN ports or VTP server. So now what is the next thing, we have to assign the trunking ports, because these are the trunk. Before the first time I have told you that these are the trunking ports, these are the trunking wires, so that two different VLANs can communicate between each other. And I already told you that VLAN 99, that is the name as native, is given for the trunking port. You may assign it or you may not assign it, but it is very professional to assign this VLAN trunking port to the trunking port. So let me write it down a few steps to assign the native VLAN to the trunking port. So for that, the trunking port for the switch 1 will be the F0/1. For that, so that I am giving int F0/1. Now we have chosen the trunking port and we have to write only one thing, that is switch trunk native. Switch trunk native VLAN 99. VLAN 1999. That is I have decided, or that is I have configured as for the native one. So the same thing we have to do in the every LANs, every protocols or every clients. So let it do that, so that we can use the trunking port as the VLAN. So let me just copy this one and let me go for all the clients. Paste. So F1 is used as the trunking port. Again we have to do the same thing. Paste. Done. For the client 2 also. Let me do it for the same thing as here. Okay, sorry, we have a negative mark is here. Done. All the things are there. So now for this one, so I have shown you that for every ports you have to do one by one. But for this one, the multi-layer switch, there are the multiple trunking ports are there. There is multiple trunking like F0 by 0, F0 by 2, F0 by 3, F0 by 4, F0 by 5. There are multiple. In a campus, there will be 100 type of trunking ports here there. So you don't have to do one by one. So go for a shortcut method. Just I am showing you for a shortcut method. So go for here and write down int range, then you have to write down f0 by 2, f0 by 2, and give the range from 0 by 2 to 0 by 5, because all these things are used as the trunking fault. Don't give one by one, you can use it directly in one step. So go for it and write it down like switch port swit or switch strong switcs strong or shit. That's why I'm not using tab. Neither it will be like some minute it will take. Native VLAN 1999. Or sorry. Okay. Done. All the things are restored. You can see that all the Ethernet ports are unblocking by itself because it is using that HTTP protocol, that is like a spanning tree protocol, to unblocking the switches from one from another. So we'll talk about this like trunking protocol in the next live classes or the live session. So we'll do it by one. So let me do it. The next step you have to do, that is called, you have to assign the ports for the professor and the students. So let me do it by one by exit. And now you have to do one thing, it is called int range f 0 by 2 to 3, because the professors are assigned with the port number. So let me show you 0 by 2 to 0 by 3, 0 by 2 to, or sorry, 0 by 3 to, oh sorry, what is the thing as there? So another things, okay, where is 2? Okay, sorry, yeah, I got it. So this is method is like there. So you have 0 to 3, 0 to 3. So the range will be 0 to 3. So let it be the range 0 to 3. And you have to assign it for the VLAN 10, because the professors, for the professor we have discussed that we have to give the VLAN 10. So let me assign that VLAN switch mode access ACCESS. And now you have to write switch mode or switch access VLAN 10 SWT ch access ACCESS switch access mode 10, or sorry, VLAN 10. Done for the first one. The second one we have to write like for the 3, or sorry, int 4. So let it be the 4. So go for it and write down switch mode access switch switch mode access switch access VLAN 20. So this is the same steps we have to go for in every type of VLANs or every like switches. So let me do it the copy, so that it only takes some remain some time. So let me show you everything. So you have to go by, see, all things are there. So let it be ex. Now you have to do one by one, like paste it and done. Paste it, done, and paste it. So all these sides are unblocked. Done. So let me see, or let me check whether all the VLANs are there or not. So you can see it by this: VLAN 10, VLAN 10, and VLAN 20. VLAN 10, VLAN 10, and VLAN 20, and again you can see that VLAN 10, VLAN 10, and VLAN 20. So all these things are there. You can see out from the crash servers or the files. Now all the things are done. Everything has been done. Now we have to go for our router. So you have two networks, two different networks, and you have to do it here again, so that it will work properly. Let me show you something. So before going for that, let me assign an IP address. What I have done, let me try to show you, then we'll go for the next step. So for the professors, what we have given, 10.10.1.0. So let me give a IP address that is 10 point sorry 10.10.1.2, and here I will give the assign the IP address or the subnet mask. So let me give the subnet mask as 255. Sorry for that. .0, and default gateway. You don't have to give the default gateway. Sorry. I have the severe cold. So done. The next thing we have to use are here to 3 10.10.1.3, and it will be 255.255.0. We don't have to submit the default gateway. Next, the only one I will try is here. Assign the IP address 10.10.1.4. That will be 255.255.255.0. Done. And the last one I will go for the router or the system desktop. So let me show you. That will be 1.0. That will be 258.250 again. Oh, why you will go with the 0? This is a network IP. So you have to go for 3 or 1, 2, anything. 255.255.25 0. Done. So this is thing, and I will try to access this one, the PC. So what is the IP address of this PC? That is 1.4 from this IP address. So let me go for the command prompt and write down the same thing by ping 10.10.1.4. So you can easily ping it out. So our network is working properly. So but the one thing we have to decide whether this thing is communicate with the PC of the student or not. This is the most highlighted person, or this is the most highlighted thing. You can see that it is not working properly. So why it is not working? Because we are not configured the router, because this is two different networks and you have to go for it. So let me go for the configuring the router so that we can use it. So go for the client or no. So now you have to go for en and go for config t. Now what you have to do, erase all the IP address is predefined or pre-configured inside this. So you have to go for no IPR. Okay, sorry. Oh, sorry, we have not gone for the interface. We have to go for the interface first. Every time if you are working with any IP, you have to go for the interface. So now you have to go for no IPR. Now you have to do one thing, no shut. Now you have to add the IP address for the different VLANs. For that, what I have done, or I want to try to do, that in this sector only, in this one IP address or one port of the router, you are defining two IP address in the sub interface of one port. So let me try to do this in that way so that you can go for or getting all the data. So what you have to do, int if 0 by 0, that is called fast Ethernet port 0 by 0, and do it as the subnet mask for the 10, because we have the subnet mask 10. So I am defining VLAN 10, because we have another VLAN 10 and 20. So for the VLAN 10 I am giving the interface or the sub interface. See what is there. So you can see that this is called as configure sub interface fast ethernet port. So now what you have to give the IP address, or first you have to go for encapsulation. Encapsulation is nothing but how the data will be transferred from one network to another network. There is different type of network encapsulation process are there, like P2P, dot 1q. So we are using this dot 1q here. So let me be dot 1q, and we will giving the subnet mask, the VLAN. So the VLAN will be 10. So for us the fast ethernet port, or the F0 by 0 sub interface 10 is used for the VLAN 10. So let it be go for that, and what we have to do, give the IP address or assign the IP address. The IP address will be 10 point, because the VLAN 10 is given to the professors. The network will be VLAN 10.10.1.1. Why 1? 1 is the default gateway for our router, the default gateway for our VLAN 10 network. So the gateway have to give the gateway IP address, that will be 1.1, and 10.0.1.0 is used as the network IP, so it cannot be given or assigned to any devices. So you have to perform like this way. So IP address, or give the IP add, and the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. Give it done. The fast Ethernet port, or the fast thing has been done. The second interface for our VLAN 20. So you have to write int f0 by 0 dot 20 to give the sub interface, or defining the sub interface. Then you have to write down the IP address, or the encapsulation dot q. So let me go for one and give this. So done. Next you have to give the IP address. So let me go for like this way and give the just change this one. So I'll just go for 20, because I have given you to, for the students you have to go for 10.20.1.0. So the IP address or the default gateway will be 1. So let will be go for it. So sub interface has been done. Now what you have to do, you have to go for the trunking port. You have to assigning the trunking port in between two of them. So how can I do that? So let it be with the thing. Okay, now go for here, en, and then config t. Okay, right, sorry, config t. Then you have to go for the interface int, this one, f0 by 1, oh sorry, 0 by 1. Now you have to define it for the trunking port. So for the trunking port, what you have to do, switch port, or switch switch, switch trunk, trunk, encapsulation dot 1q, and give it here, and switch mode trunk. So you just have to delete it, just delete it, and the current be switch mode trunk. Done with the process of trunking of the fast Ethernet port. So now what you have to do, and everything has been done, you can see out from here again. So let me go for the command prompt, and again I will go for pinging this fast point. So let me ping it. It will take some time for the trunking protocol for the STP. So just give it some time, and we'll recheck it again. Just give him some time, and let me go for the DHCP server. Just exit it, Now what you have to do, go for the same thing, that is called for the DHCP. What you have to do, IP DHCP pool, DHCP pool. For the professor, you have to write the professor, PRO. So let me get the name of the VLAN what I have described. So I did not like remember anything like what is the name what I have given. So most of the time you have to check, because according to the name only the DHCP configuration will be done. So do show VLAN brief. So here you can see out the professor. So let me just copy this. Now let me go for the this one, DHCP full professor. So just paste it. And what is the IP address? Sorry, network IP. Network 10.10.1.0 255.255.255.0. Done. And now you have to give the default router. What is the default router? That will be 1.1. Now so default, okay, sorry, default router 10.0.10.1.1. That is the default router. Now let us do it for the student again. Student STUDENT. Now just go for it and give the default router. Sorry, default network will be the 10.20.1.0. So let's do it. Now you have to do again the default router part as the 20.1 and the DNS IP. So let us DNS. Let's do it as the DNS. Will be DNS server. Will be 8.8.8.8. Just define it for the another one, that is DSC pool for the professor, and give the DNS server again. So now all the DHCP server also has been configured. So let me check whether I am getting the DHCP server from here or not. So let us do it. As in, so just remember that DHCP server is gone with the algorithm of DORA algorithm. What is DORA? DORA is nothing but discover, offer, request and acknowledgement. You can see that it is getting the default gateway is 10.10.1.0 and the VLAN, the network IP has been decided by itself, and all the subnet mask, everything has been there. The DNS server as we have defined, that is called 88, and the DHCP request has been successful. So let me go for this one also. Let me check for the student we are getting the data or not, or getting the DHCP or not. So you can see that for the DHCP of the second router, the HTTP request is successful, and the IP address has been changed 10.20.1.2. It is also for our student as we have decided 10.20.1.0. Everything has been done. So now let me go for one by one. Go for the desktop. Protocol again. So 3 is not now. It will have to be 2 because the assignment has been changed. Let us check. So why it is not there, not coming. So let me check once again. So VLAN 10, 20, 20, all the things are same. It is done. So let me give this one. Okay, go for the simulator and give one like meshes from this one to this one and check how it is working. Okay, let me check. Okay, there are some problems have been there, so let me check one by one. So trunking port, so we have to go for the trunking port. Get this. Okay, so let me get the IP address for this one first, because we have two 0.2. Okay, 1.5 it has been assigned, and let me go for from this UA. Yeah, you are getting. So this is there are some configuration problem are there. So you are getting from the system student to, from the student to the IP address from here. So let me do it again so that you are getting the data correctly. So let me ping it, so you can see that the reply is there, because so before the first one also you are getting the last packet as the successful package. Now you are getting everything as a successful package. So this is how all the things of campus related programming or the campus networking you can do it with this trunking, DHCP, all these things. Just tell you one thing, the most important thing, this is a part of the campus area network. In the next one we'll go for the one, because in a university there are many campuses, so you have to interconnect them into this whole concept. So at that time you are getting the OSCP, BGP, all these type of trunking protocols are there. So we will do it in the next class or the next one. So this is for today, we'll meet in the next class. So you can check our courses about CCNA, CCNP and CCIE. Then we have the cybersecurity, all the types of programmings are there, or courses are there. You can go for that and you can join or enroll for that. So let me show you about that. So let me show you our. So this is our okay.